wondered how you could make better use of your double reed? Improve your double reed? I'm Theodore Lentz, low brass extraordinaire and bassoon enthusiast. Tonight I'm going to teach you all of the many techniques that will help you improve your double reed. For instance, that's not a very good sound. Let's see how our oboe's doing. Oh, not very good at all. That's probably due to a reed error. So what I'm going to do is show you how we can fix it.
Alright, now I'm going to talk to you about some of the tools that we need to work on our reeds. Now, a lot of double reed professionals prefer to use some tools that not everyone has access to. That or they're incredibly expensive. For instance, the reed knife. I'm going to use a butcher knife. Now, a lot of double reed players also tend to stay away from the reed knife because knife technique can be very, very difficult and sometimes take a long time to master. So in order to avoid using the reed knife, we're going to use another alternative. I'm going to be using a Gillette Fusion, 5 blades, and also one for precision trimming. Let's take a look at some of our reeds that we need to work on. For instance, this one. As we can see here, the end of this reed is broken, and it's not a very happy looking reed. Let's see what we can do to fix that. I'm going to start by trimming off the end of the reed that's broken. Now, make sure you use a nice rocking motion when you cut the reed. That way we're not going to have an uneven cut. Alright, perfect. We now have the broken reed removed, and we're just going to trim down the edges a little bit so it's nice and smooth. Now make sure you work with the grain, otherwise you're going to have lots of chunks torn out of this. Another few tools that we can use are the mandrel and the plaque. Now these are the ones that, I really couldn't think of anything too creative to replace them with. So I'm just going to actually use a mandrel and a plaque. The mandrel is used to be put inside the reed so that you can hold on to it and keep it very steady while you're working. The plaque, what that does is it separates the blades of the reed as you insert it in the tip very gently so as not to break, as I just did, the rest of the reed. When working on cutting or shaving your reed, make sure that it's always wet, unless you live dangerously. Otherwise, it's going to be very fragile and easy to break. And then we'll figure out what we can do with our razor. Alright. I think that worked very nicely. Let's see what we've done. Now, as you can see, I've removed the rough edge and smoothed out all of the bad parts. A little bit of razor burn here, but it's it's nothing we can't do without. It's perfectly fine that way. Now, one thing that's unique to the bassoon reed is that in the oboe reed, you have metal underneath the cork that the cane wraps around underneath the thread. The bassoon reed is entirely made of cane. Now, where it goes onto the bocal, down at this end, that sometimes doesn't fit very well, and that needs to be fixed. Now, a very special tool, very similar to the mandrel, is called a reamer. Now, the big difference is that on the reamer, there's basically, it looks like a drill bit that you put into the reed and you grind the inside out to make it fit better to the mandrel. But another option that you can have in your home is a power drill. Why? It has that same drill type edge that you see on a reamer, and that we're able to go right in like that gently and hollow out the inside of the reed. Let's go over to our workbench and use our homemade reamer. And here we are at our workbench. Now we're able to get to work on this reed to hollow the inside out so that we can fit it a little bit better on the bocal. And I'm going to have you come in for a closer shot. Always remember to work with a wet reed. We're going to use the reamer to hollow out the inside of the reed. Alright, now reverse to get out. Alright, there we go. The inside is now hollowed out and it'll fit better on our vocal. Now another technique that I feel I should share with you tonight is the hot mandrel technique. And that's what bassoon players use when they make a new reed. They put the mandrel over a flame. Now what this does is as you put the new reed onto a hot mandrel, it actually sears the inside of the reed and makes it kind of, Well, that was a close one. Well, not much left we can do for this reed except try our best. Let's take a look again at some of those techniques we learned earlier. Cut off the, well, in this case, burned end rather than broken end. Remember to use a nice rocking motion so as not to hurt yourself. Sawing works too. Oh, that's the mandrel. There we go. And use your razor blade to even out the edges. Well, there you have it. All of the steps you need to know to get a better reed.
Well, that about covers all of it. Let's see how we did. Let's check our oboe reed. Perfect.